Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to the review of its latest available Android Pie update, that is with version ending 087. So let's begin with that. So on my phone screen you are able to view that this is Android 9 Pie based stock ROM with the security patch level of 5 September 2020, and a part of this kernel version is 4.4.153 perf plus, and the build number ending 087 and so on. Basically in this particular update, like, it was a 600 plus MB FOTA update, but I haven't seen any major changes, so not sure what Asus has shipped with this particular update. There are a few speculation going on by some YouTubers that it will be the Asus is preparing for the Android 10 update and so on. So but I can't assure you that this is the actual case or not. But and even firstly I was thinking that whether I need to review this update or not, but now let's do it. Let's see whatever is working according to the previous versions or not. So firstly we'll start with the security section. So in security, pin, pattern, password swipe, all are working absolutely fine. Beside to this, fingerprint scanner and face unlock, they are also working absolutely fine. But in case of face recognition, you will see a minor latency, but again it will be like 1 out of 10. So I won't say that each and every time you will see, but sometime again that 10% chances. So you might have to bear with this. If you are not facing any issue after updating, then you can confirm the same in the comment section below. That will surely be helpful for us and for the other users as well. After security section, now let's move to the storage section. So again, there is no problem with the storage section with respect to the internal storage and as well as for the external storage like SD card. After storage, now let's move to the sound. So in the sound section, I do feel little bit better, but it's only when I'm using it with the earphones or headphones. But whenever I'm playing audio via plain speaker, or I would say direct speaker, then I won't say that it has improved. It is the same like in 082 or 84. But in earphones or headphones, I have seen I would say very little bit improvement. Again, you can confirm the same in the comment section below. After sound section, now let's move to the display section. Although nothing major is in this particular section, but this time I just noticed one thing is related to ambient display. So at my side, this ambient display is not working. Not sure whether it is working at your side or not, but if it is working, then you can confirm the same in the comment section below so that it will be helpful for others as well. And frankly speaking, I haven't tested this part in 084, so I can't confirm whether it was working in 084 as well, or was it just breaking in 087. So after display section, now let's move to the battery section. So basically in battery section, we'll be covering 3 different points. The very first point would be the charging time. So it took nearly about 3 hours and 5 minutes to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%. And again, just a reminder, I'm not using the default, I would say, charger shipped with this particular phone. I'm using a compatible 10-watt charger. So this is somewhat like it has added 7 to 10 minutes as compared to the previous version, that is 084. In 084, it was taking nearly about 2 hours 53 minutes to 2 hours 58 minutes to fully charge phone from 0 to 100%. But in this case, it is taking nearly about 3 hours 5 minutes. So addition of 7 to 10 minutes. So hopefully this will be rectified, but not sure whether Asus will rectify or not. But you can do the battery calibration in case if you are facing more than like I would say the more charging time in terms of 4 hours, 5 hours and so on. After charging time, now let's move to the ideal battery drainage. So this time I tried to analyze it for nearly about 5 different days. So I'm using this particular ROM since last Friday. So I will be sharing day by day battery drainage. So on a very first day, it drained nearly about 3% of battery for a span of 6 to 7 hours. Then on a second day, it drained battery for 4 to 5% for a 9 to 10 hours of span. And on a third day, it's drained battery nearly about 5 to 6% for a span of 10 to 11 hours. And on the fourth day, it's again drained battery nearly about 4 to 5% over a span of 7 to 8 hours. And today itself, I have also noticed again same 4 to 5% was drained over a span of 8 to 9 hours. So at most at my side, I have seen 6% batteries draining over a span of 9 to 10 hours. If someone is facing more than 10%, then I will really suggest or recommend to do the battery calibration. That will surely help you. Now let's move to the battery consumption from a gaming perspective or a point of view. The bad thing is that in this video I can't cover PUBG because it's already banned and I am unable to install it now. But let's focus from the Call of Duty side. And even you can see the RAM management, like it hasn't started from the scratch. It has just shown me that particular error, and afterward it just reset, like able to connect to server, and it is open from the same window or a screen where I have left earlier. But now let's focus on the battery consumption part. Like firstly we'll see these were the graphic quality and frame rate which I was using to analyze the overall battery consumption. And beside to that, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay it was 36 degree, and as soon as I completed, sometime it was 40 degree and sometime it was 41 degree. But the main part is battery consumption. So sometime it is consuming nearly about 20 to 21%, sometime it is consuming 18 to 19%, but on an average I have seen nearly about 19 to 20% of battery was consumed while a gameplay of 1 hour and so. So after battery statistic or analysis, now let's move to the connected devices. So in connected devices, I usually test two things. One is Bluetooth and another is screencasting. So Bluetooth is working absolutely fine, be it for file transfer or audio via Bluetooth devices. Apart to this screencasting, yes, it is working absolutely fine whenever you are using with the Intel based laptop or PC. But at my side, I was unable to connect with the AMD based laptop, and I tried a lot of things to find this solution, but never unable to get it as of now. But if I'll find, I'll surely be creating a video on that as well. After connected device, now let's move to the network and internet connections. So firstly, let's focus on the Wi-Fi calling. So it is again available just for the Jio, not for the Airtel. Apart to this, there is no provision for call recorder and native video calling as of now. Apart to this, there is no issue in the Wi-Fi connectivity. And from the mobile internet perspective, calls and SMS, even I haven't faced any issue be with from the Jio side or Airtel side. So after network and internet, now let's move to the quick settings section. So in quick settings, like all these settings which whatsoever have been provided by ASUS are working absolutely fine. There is no glitch, there is no problem with that. Like you can see nearby share, bedtime, focus mode and so on. Everything is working fine. Touch, mobile internet, other hotspots and so. So there is no problem with the quick settings. After quick setting, let me verify you one more thing which usually users ask, like device is certified or not. Although this is never applicable in terms of stock ROM, but few users have complained in terms of Android 10 beta version. So afterward I started analyzing this in the stock ROM itself. Apart to this, like with respect to the default shipped apps with this particular ROM, I have checked FM radio and it is working absolutely fine. Like there are many people who used to listen FM radio on a daily basis, whether they are traveling, whether to cut down the time, or I would say time to pass the time and so on. So it is working absolutely fine. There is no glitch with that. After this, now let's focus on the status of camera to API. It is disgusting that in Pi they haven't tried to give us limited full or not even level 3 whatsoever. So it was legacy even before updating the update and even after updating the update as well, like 087. But at your side, if it is L1, if it is already enabled, then it will still be there. So it will not be changed. Now let's focus from the status of Wideband certification. So at my side, it is showing me L3 and it has been persisting since the time I have flashed Android 10 beta 1 version. So if at your side it is L1, then it will keep on L1. So there is no problem with that. Apart to this stock camera, so there is no change that I have felt at my side related to the stock camera UI and so on. But I have seen one good thing in terms of picture quality now, like as compared to version 082 and 84, it has little bit improved in both the sections. I would say camera and in the front and rear both. And I would really suggest that you can even verify it if you have clicked any photo with respect from 082 version and 084. You will surely see some sort of improvement. But again, there is a lot of space of room for the improvement in camera setup. Now let's focus on the benchmark scores. The very first thing would be from the AnTuTu benchmarks. So these are the overall scores, that is 1,48,545, and below ones are the consolidated on the basis of CPU, GPU, memory management, UX or UI. Aside to this, benchmark scores from the Geekbench 5. So from a CPU's point of view, single core score is 276, multi-core score is 1182. And on the basis of computation using OpenCL API, the score is 444. So all in all, it is like almost same with respect to earlier version. There would be hardly a change of 5 to 10 values, not more than that. And now the major part is related to RAM and memory management. So although it is working absolutely fine, but let me open Call of Duty to show you that wherever we have left while creating this video, it has again opened from the same screen or window rather than starting from the scratch. So RAM or memory management was never an issue with the stock ROMs. And apart to this, like I've already shared the bug related to that ambient display. Apart to this, perf dump is still missing, and it has been missing since 084. So this is a bummer. Like in Android Pie, that using that we can like resolve the audio or sound related problems. Okay. And apart to this, I haven't faced any bug or issue. Like I'm using this phone from last 4 to 5 days. And even I, like in the earlier part, I've mentioned to that I haven't seen any major change. So I'm not sure what other YouTubers are saying. So let's wait till the time we'll see something from the ASUS official side. And a part of this, the very last part is related to the overall review score. So from my side, I'm giving nearly about 80 out of 100. So most probably, like everyone is hoping that we will be able to view the next Android 10 stable version from ASUS side, but not sure whenever. So till that time, whenever I'll be having a new videos, I'll surely create and publish, and you can view and you can share your valuable feedback and whatsoever you want to see in future. Hope you like this video. As this was all from my side related to the review of version 087. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family. And apart from this, please subscribe to our channel, because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.